And this session will actually focus on the evolution and future of Sharia-compliant financial products. This session will be moderated by Rushdan Nazir, and alongside him, a distinguished panel comprising of Professor Dr. Aznan Hassan from CGS CIB Securities Sedia Berhad, Ustaz Muhammad Izam Khazar from Bank Negara Malaysia, and Encik Shamsul Akmal Ahmad from Bursa Malaysia. Without further ado, let's welcome our esteemed moderator and panelists onto the stage.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mula-mula I have to apologize. My sound system rosak sikit hari ni. But anyway, I went to the clinic yesterday, did my swab, negative for both COVID and influenza. So don't worry. So far lah. Okay, session 2. The objective is actually to explore the evolution and future of Sharia-compliant financial products. And hopefully we can also unveil the next generation of innovative treatment solutions. We would like also if we can delve more into the more, I would say, sophisticated type of products like derivatives, hedgings, futures, where we draw the line between whether it's Sharia compliant or not. So before I start, let me first introduce the panel of speakers. To your right, extreme right, we have Encik Shamsul Akmal Ahmad. He is the head of Bursa Suk Al Sirah or BISAS at Bursa Malaysia. Prior to that, Encik Shamsul was in the risk management, regulation, strategy and market operation also at Bursa. And before that, in one of the investment banks here, right? Okay, and then next to Encik Samsul is Ustaz Muhammad Izam Kaza. Ustaz Izam is the Deputy Director and Sharia Specialist for the Islamic Finance Department at Bank Negara Malaysia. Prior to Bank Negara, Ustaz Izam was in Maybank Islamic Berhad and also AVP at Noor Investment of Dubai. And next to me is Professor Dr. Aznan Hassan. I think he doesn't need further introduction. He wears many hats, both in domestic and also at a global stage. But today, he's here as a Sharia advisor for CGS CIB. Okay, so let's start the session. Most of these questions are actually quite high level general questions, and then we hope to have an engaging discussion. So first, in terms of market innovation, maybe Prof. Aznan, Ustaz Izam dulu. Okay, what are some notable examples of product structures that have expanded the range of Sharia-compliant financial offerings, especially here in Malaysia lah? And how you think Sukuk, Takaful, all these Islamic mutual funds contributed to the evolution of Sharia-compliant finance? Okay, Ustaz Izam.
Right. Thanks to the moderator. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Dr. Azan, Shamsul, and distinguished participant. As mentioned by the moderator, I will try to touch on Malaysia territory only, and the rest I will pass to Dr. Aznan. From central bank perspective, the Bank Negara is always looking forward to the innovation. So in our financial sector blueprint 2022 to 2026, we have highlighted the digital in our roadmap to the digitalization of the financial institution. Under the strategic thrust of advanced digitalization of the financial sector, the Bank Negara looking forward to enhance the pathway of digital innovation, either to test and after the test to scale up, and after that to exit for example, we have the sandbox. So we have a lot of company coming to Bank Negara to test their product innovatively with a very small scale so that we can test the risk, we can test the market, and also from the Sharia perspective to test the the Islamicity of the product as well. When they wanted to introduce whether the control is there, whether there are issue of the Sharia in their initial proposal of the product. Later, after we see that it is safe and it is prudent and it can be scaled, then they will exit and uh, put their product into the open sea lah, we can see. But so in from the benefit perspective, there are a room for innovation, and we know that the product of Islamic finance already grown from 2020 2010 from 22% to now, alhamdulillah, we already Islamic finance product already stood at 44.5% of the market share. Especially, I'm referring to the Islamic financing and total asset against the total loan and financing in 2022. So, like the prediction by others, many are predicting Malaysia product, Islamic especially financing, will go to 50% parity to the conventional in either 2020, 2030 or 2028. So there are based on the growth that we have every year, year to year, we can see that it will outpass the conventional beyond 2030. So that is, I think, some alarming for some, but is and also an opportunity for some. So they see that the Islamic product will be the dominant of this country in the near future. Although we are alive at that point of time, that is Allah's destiny to us. But still, for our future generation, they will some of our grandchildren, perhaps, or our children, when they are born with the dominant of Islamic in the market, not conventional anymore. So they will know Islamic more than conventional, like we know takaful last time and now. So people are looking at that area of investment or innovation. So my point here is that with that growth and the takaful is growing at the same pace, although they are still low on the part of percentage, but you can see in the capital market as well, we are dominating more than 40% of the market share of sukuk issuance, with 50 plus of fund managers in the market. With increasing Islamic finance, we are getting some demand on new licensing of Islamic finance as well, Islamic banks in the country. So we can see there are a demand for Islamic. The nearest that I can go now is the product, the innovation that we can see. I just touch a little bit later. I will add on that after the Taznan. Is that on the part of the Bank Negara is working on CBDC, the Central Bank Digital Currency. We've worked in our FSB Financial Sector Blueprint. There are three phases: 2021, 2022. They are the first phase of the what we call wholesale CBDC, international CBDC cross border that we've done with BIS, with Australia, with South Africa, and also Singapore. And now is the second phase of it that the Bank Negara is looking at the what we call proof of concept for the CBDC for wholesale first. So this is the 1 or 2 years. There will be a very intensive discovery whether Malaysia or whether the central bank or the Islamic financial institution are ready to have the CBDC on their own. So they are transacting between the IFIs to IFIs through CBDC rather than ringgit. And in the new, after beyond 2023, the exploration will go further to the retail. And that is a bit scary on the retail part. So, but still Bank Negara are very prudent, very careful on that. So we are, in our blueprint, we mention that there are phases after one and another. So make sure that the phases go well before the other. So if the wholesale CBDCs goes well, then the exploration will start to the retail afterwards. That's
Ini bukan crypto.
can't reveal yet. There are some options being considered by Bank Negara. There are some options. So for now, we don't have that certainty yet. The team is working hard to make sure that everything is stable. If you want to introduce a stable, whether it is account based, non-account based, tokenized, non-tokenized. So that is still under study. I think that's all I want to share. Another area that is very interesting for us, and it will touches every one of us, especially our youngsters, is BNPL. BNPL. So this is also under Bank Negara scrutinized. And Sharia Advisory Council, we have Prof. Ongku here, looking very deeply into the how we want to ensure that BNPL is prudent, how we ensure that there are no Sharia issues or concern later on when it is introduced, and what is the control that we should put into place so that our youngsters, especially those young heavily using the BNPL, will not end up with late payment charges, will not end up with excessive expenditures. That's, I think, some of the what we call teaser that I can give for now. Thank you.
Excellent. We explore that further, hopefully later. But Dr. Azlan?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'ahu wa nasaru wa wala. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Thank you very much, Rashdan. All the dear panelists, Tan Sri, senior management at Bursa and also SGS and all these attendees. I'm here talking about from my own self. I'm not representing anybody, Tan Sri. The problem is that when you are talking, you are having a lot of hats. When you got when you talk to good thing, they said, he's from us. When you stop not good thing, he's not from us. So there are the difficulties that we have. So I mean, just joking for that matter, but I'm talking from my own opinion, not because of the chairman of SAC, of AC, or whatever organization that I'm representing, including also CGS. This is my personal point of view. I may be wrong, I may be right. I mean, a lot of things need to be explored when it comes to innovation. I want to put 2-3 points, then we go for what are the evolution of the Islamic product that we want to have. My own point of view. Again, I may be wrong. In conventional, you have a lot of innovations in financial products, in the way you do things and everything. And sometimes that innovation can be good and can be bad. That is the one thing that I want to put. And from Islamic finance point of view, every time when we want to introduce new product, we have 2 ways. The first one, introduce it from our own ways without looking into conventional at all. That is the best thing to do. The second thing is that pick the best and the good from the conventional and try to do it in Islamic manner. Is it wrong? Nothing wrong with that. From Islamic point of view, all the contracts that we have nowadays are not Islamic creation. That are the fact. Mudarabah contract, Musharakah contract, sale contract even existed before the coming of the Prophet. But what he did, instead of say everything is not right, everything is wrong, he will then pick whatever that is good and he adopt it to be Islamic. And what is bad, he just throw it away and it's haram. For example, sale contract. And nobody can say the sale contract is bad, otherwise people cannot live their life. But during his existence, when he came to Arabia, there are type of contract which cannot be Islamic at all. For example, they have a contract what they call Bay'ul Mulamasa, sale by touching. You close your eyes, you pay the money, you enter into a tent whatsoever, and whatever your hand touches, that is yours. So that's what kind of contract that they have that time. So he said, this is nothing but pure gambling. This cannot be Islamic and cannot be good. Why? It is not good for people. So he said, no, Bay'ul Mulamasa haram. Naha Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ma'il mulamasa wal munabaza. All those contracts are not allowed. Why?
what sort of purpose that you want to have with all these transactions. That's what Islamic talk about maqasid, the purpose of what you do. So when it comes to Islamic finance, we have two ways. The first one is we create from our own. The second one is adopt what we have in conventional, the best that serve the purpose of the humankind. Then you take it and adopt, you make it Islamic and according to the Sharia principles. There is one, some say hadith, some is not hadith. The saying that al-hikmatu dhalatul mu'min. The wisdom is something that is gone from the Muslim. Wherever he got it, he is the one which is rightfully have to own it. Al-hikmatu dhalatul mu'min aina wajadah fahu ahaqun nasu biha. He is the right one to get it. So when it comes to innovation in Islamic finance, this is a tricky part. You know, as a scholar, I've seen a lot of people, whatever that they want to have, they just throw to us. Good or bad. Good or bad. And to screen and to assess what is good and what is bad sometimes can be very tricky. Not to undermine the banking people, the financial people. Their good is different perhaps from what people see it good. To some bankers, I mean, not all. I mean, it's fair. It's dollar and cents, am I right? So whatever that can give money to the bank and can meet my KPI and can give dollar and cents to the bank or to the financial institution, that is good from their perspective. But is it good for us to throw that kind of product to the market? That's the thing that a scholar need to assess. And the assessment of the bankers or the assessment of what I call the proposal may be different from the assessment done by the scholars. I give an example. 2008, it was a heavy debate that time on CD, what we call credit default swap, CDS, CLN and everything. I'm not sure whether it called privilege or problematic that time. I was put into a board where we have the proposal come with that particular product, as kind of CLN and CDS. And they put all those Sharia contract to somehow wrap that product to be Islamic. If you have two things in your way, you can wrap anything non-Islamic to become Islamic. I call magic sticks. You give me wa'ad, you give me community murabah. I can structure whatever you want in this world. Tell me. He can be that proof of that. I can do anything. I can change the non-Islamic to become Islamic without looking at the purpose. But is that what Islamic product that we want? I don't think so. Islamic should have gone beyond that. Not only by looking at the structure, but also looking at the form and the purpose. That's what I understand from Islamic. So CLN that time, I say no. They come with CDS. Alhamdulillah, that happened before the crash of 2008. Deep in my heart, I said, look, I have something, I have some feeling which is not good toward these products. From my point of view, this is just a pure speculation. It's a bad thing to do in the market. We have 5 scholars, I say no, 4 say yes. So of course the product goes to the market, not goes to the market, endorsed by the Sharia. Alhamdulillah, 2 weeks before the product launch happened, what happened? In the conventional way. So product did not go to the market. And the bank was safe. They said, thank you, doctor, for saying no, because we were reluctant, because you were adamantly, they use the word adamantly disagree to this product because I don't see the purpose of it from Sharia point of view. That's why I don't feel yes for that. Contrary to the carbon trading, Tan Sri, the carbon trading has come to our discussion in 2013. Long before people talk about that. We have 5 scholars again, not this scholar, another scholars, another set of scholars. Okay, another set of scholars. Some said, no, it's not good because by doing that, you allow some people to pollute more world and everything. They come with all the Kyoto Protocol and everything. Deep in my heart, I feel that this is good product. So 2 against 3. 2 say no, 2 say yes, 3 say no. So we don't see the product in the market. I say yes, another one scholar. And I was saying, no, this is a good thing. We want to do something that benefit the world. The answer was no that time. Yet now, in year 2020, Bursa come up with that announcement that last year, right? Last year, Now you have ISDB saying the same thing. Now you have Bursa. You have one entity, another one saying anything. Now, even the market has set up the product to be a very good product. Now we are talking about carbon ETF even. Now we are looking into structuring carbon ETF. So that is the evolution of a Sharia product that we have seen in the market. Just a broad understanding. What I'm trying to emphasize here is that you can put whatever product to the market. You can put to the scholars whatever product. But at the end of the day, one main question that a scholar will ask you again and again is that how this product benefit the society and the market in general. If we cannot find that particular answer, I'll be very reluctant to say yes to be frank. Of course, if the product is good, but there are some element that we need to what we call to streamline, that we have to polish, we will do that, provided that there must be a good purpose for the product to be in the market. Come to me, I will help you to do that, inshallah. But if you come to me and your answer, well, this gives us a lot of money, sir. Keep your money to yourself lah. I will look into something that benefiting people for that matter. Okay, can I have 1 or 2 minutes? Okay. What are the product evolution that you have seen in the market? Of a lot. We come from a very humble beginning. I still remember before Sheikh Luta passed away. Sheikh Luta is the one who initiated Dubai Islamic Bank, the first Islamic bank in the world. I met him, 2-3 months before he died. Again, this has nothing to do with the IAB, has nothing to do with Central Bank of Emirates. That I'm also advisor for Central Bank of Emirates. But again, this is my point of view. So I met him once before he died. I said, sir, I asked a very simple question. If you were to meet God, and God asks you, what are the best thing that you have done in your life? What is the best thing that you have done in your life? He said that you can proudly say to God, oh God, allow me to enter Jannah because I have done this. Every one of us have to think for himself. If God asks you, what you have done for me to reward you paradise, you have to have one good answer. That I have done this and this and this. Please, I know I have a lot of sin, but I have done this for the good of society. Please, with all your mercy, allow me to enter paradise. Do you have the answer? Ask yourself. Me, I'm also asking myself for that. So he answered one simple question. Good thing he answered. And say what he answered to me is the only one thing, not because of my money. He's very rich anyway. He was very rich anyway. One thing that I can tell people is that I triggered people for them to see the potential of doing finance Islamically. I have triggered people. I know the product that I put in the market might perhaps not the best product ever, but I triggered them to think. Previously, people when talk about finance, they said, no, finance cannot be Sharia. This is go to hell. Nobody will imagine that time we can do finance Islamically. I triggered that to them. Perhaps after that, people keep innovating. Some good, some bad, but at the end of the day, people keep doing that for that matter. So we start from the very humble beginning. We move up to the stage. Now we have Islamic capital market, a lot of product, good or bad. We can discuss, we can debate that particular thing. Now, what we have seen, Dr. Izzah mentioned about what we have seen in Malaysia. Overseas, for good, unfortunately, we have started very well. But they have catch up. Perhaps if we don't catch so fast, they are going to surpass us in that manner. I'm sitting on the Dubai Islamic Financial Center. Dubai Economic Center as one of the members. They put the plan to us, they put everything, my God. If we don't push ourselves, believe me, come how many years to come, if they manage to do what they have planned, they are going to overtake us for that matter. There's a fact that I say, wow, a lot of things now on the table. And they call them Islamic Economic Center, not Islamic Financial Center. So they go bigger than that. So that are the product that we have seen. Now, there are some product that I like to see in the market. We tried, but we failed. You want me to say it? Cat sukuk. Catastrophic sukuk. Now, the problem that we face in the market is that all the takaful product that we have, at the end of the day, he will end up reinsured, or at the end of the day, it will reinsured with the conventional way. Because what? We don't have the capacity. Many of the situation that you have, the takaful may not have the capacity to own it or even to retakaful it. We don't have good retype company for that. So we are the reinsurance Islamically or retro Islamically. Conventionally for that matter. So cat sukuk, we don't have cat sukuk. We have a lot of cat bond in the market. We have some cat bond in the market. So cat sukuk is one of the things, in my opinion, that can shift from the reinsurance company or retakaful company to the public. So the mutual assistance will come not even just from the fund, but also will be then transfer and transpire to the public for the matter. One of the things. We have seen a lot of other things. One of the things that I want to look is how for us to look at private equity, for example, for us to work together with the Islamic, with the institution, development fund, or with the government, even on the blended basis. We can do sukuk, we can do PE, we can do VC. So instead of putting all the burden on the government, so government will be happy to hear from me today. Instead of putting all the burden on the government, now we share together with on the blended basis. Not just about private public initiative, but also we go further using Islamic capital market instrument to put that to the public. So these are the thing. One of the thing I come to later. I think Rashdan has been very passionate to continue with the question. I stop there. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
You joining us for lunch later kan? Kita sambung Okay, my next question is actually to Ustaz Shamsul. Okay. Ustaz, okay, so probably I think some of us here are also not very familiar with Bursa Suk Asila, and so probably can introduce BISAS to the audience, and also BISAS. And then and also to highlight some of the products features, and especially on the Gold Dinar, because I think it was recently soft launch, right?
Thank you, Rashdan. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished panelists, Dr. Aznan has been my CFO for the past 10 years and still is. Ustaz Izam, Tansi Chairman, and management of CGS as well as Bursa. Since I was asked about BISAS, BISAS has been with us since 2009 when we launched. It is the working. August 2009 is the launch. Dr. Aznan is the endorser. So if anything wrong with BISAS, go back to Dr. Aznan. We have been 13 years in the market, and almost every banks globally, Islamic banks globally is our clients. But the development of Islamic finance is not equal in Malaysia, in Saudi, in UAE. It's quite fast. Whereas in certain parts of the world, currently we are making a lot of headways into Africa because they're just starting with very basic product finance, retail financing, retail deposit. So we are helping them. Like Dr. Azna mentioned just now, we make contribution to the Ummah, and this is how we do it. And we have currently presence in about 26 countries, accessing the system directly from the country. So it's a global platform. In terms of value, as you mentioned briefly just now, BISAS has grown so fast. From our humble beginning last time, Doctor, when we start off, we were doing about 200 million first trade per month. It was done. The first trade was done by CIMB, by the way, CIMB Islamic, together with Bank Negara. And currently, we are doing about 48 billion ringgit per day from our humble beginning of 200 million. So that's the achievement that we have done so far. And it still is the key product as far as the world is concerned. And like Dr. Azna mentioned, it is a very flexible contract that you can make a lot of permissible contract, because anyway, anything that you touch on tawarruk, you still need to go back to the Sharia committee for approval. So whatever product that you are coming up with. And Bank Negara has been helping us because in 2009, when we wanted to introduce API to the system, that means systems connectivity, Bank Negara gave us the approval, recognize that the system that we have is Sharia compliant. So both SC as well as Bank Negara has been helping visas, and especially the management of Bursa as well. They allow us to venture. Okay, sorry. Now since visas has been successful and we are still working towards improving the system. We are the system has been with us for 13 years, and because of the business that we are churning up currently, so we are looking at improving the system itself. Um, we are currently in the process of we had just appointed a vendor working towards working on the new system. That's the development on business. As far as Bursa Gold Dinar is concerned, Tansi mentioned about the Gold Dinar just now briefly. This is our new initiative on two fronts actually. Bursa mission is creating opportunities, growing value, and we are also pivoting towards multi-asset exchange. So, so on these two things, creating value, creating opportunities. So basically, Bursa Gold Dinar, or we call it BGD, we are creating opportunity for investors to have direct access into Sharia compliant gold product directly to Bursa, and in a secure, in a transparent and liquid, inshallah. And it also has to be competitive. Tan Si Chairman mentioned about the spread, the current market. So his instruction to us is make the spread as small as possible. Less money for Bursa, but more money for the investor. And we will black, of course. And it has to be easily accessible. So the system will be available on your handphone, apps, iOS or Android, and it will be available on website as well. And of course, it has to be Sharia compliant. It is endorsed by our Sharia committee, Prof. Ashraf, Prof. Unku, and Prof. Yunus. So they endorse the BGD as Sharia compliant. Dr. Aznan has commented on that as well. There's a bit of tweak in the pronouncement based on the comment by Dr. Aznan as well. So all contribute to BGD. And the model that we are using is, we call it equilibrium model, because as far as we are concerned, process is Bursa need to purchase the gold first, because under Sharia, we have to own the thing before we can sell. So we purchase the gold, we digitalize it. We are not using DLT, we are just using a central database at the moment. Because no blockchain at the moment, because it's I mean, the current centralized model works for us. Inshallah. So we purchase the gold physically, store it in an independent vault, and then we digitalize that gold into a digital gold on our digital platform. So you trade on the digital platform, and the trading is based on RTGS, real-time gross settlement. So when an investor onboarded on the platform, we will give you two accounts, a digital cash wallet and an asset digital wallet. So if you want to buy, you have to put in money into your digital wallet through a banking system. This we have done sandbox with Paynet on this, and it works. So you bank into our account, helped by a trustee just to protect the interest of the investor, and then that money will be transferred via API immediately into your account in the BGD platform. So from there, when you want to purchase, you will know how much. It will be very transparent. You know how much you'll be getting. You know how much you have to pay for it, and you can only confirm once you have the money in there. So if you don't have, then you just have to top up basically. So that's on the platform itself. The another Sharia requirement is it must be the investor must be able to physically redeem the dinar. In this case, what we are issuing actually is a Bursa Gold Dinar. It's unique dinar designed and minted by Bursa. You have a Bursa design on it. So that will. I mean, I can't reveal it now. That privilege is to Tan Sri. Boleh. The dinar is 4.25 gram. So because this is affordable to the general investor, we make it as low as 10 ringgit. You can start to accumulate the gold. Once it reaches 4.25 gram, then you can redeem it and it will be delivered to your house. So there's a unique design. It's a bursa design, so can be a collectible items.
Wow. Dahsyat. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
boleh.
I want to two things. The first one is that you know how the suku silat come to the picture, the name. Initially, it was the name Bursa Sukul Usul. The name originally was Sukul Usul. Usul means asset. Usul means asset. You know, when we have done all the actually Tan Sri, the concept paper for Bursa have 3 stages. I wrote the concept paper, Tan Sri. The first one is to creation a platform for Tawaruk. The second one is to create a multi-commodity platform. Now, this has been done in DMCC, Dubai Multi-Commodity Center, where they have the exchange there. And the third one is how for us to create ETF out of these particular commodities. So we can create, so that is the stage. I'm not sure whether you have seen the concept paper or not. My hard drive has gone, stolen in Bali when I was there. So I don't have that kind of thing. But that I remember that are the 3 stages that I wrote for this concept paper of Bursa. The first one is to for the Tawaruk platform. The second one is that this is the one that is very tricky to do, Tan Sri, is the multi-commodity center. And if we can do that, that platform of Bursa, Suku Silat, which is commodity murabah habis, will be transformed to use that particular commodities as well. And the last stage is for us to create ETF out of this commodity that is traded on Bursa. So there are the stages of, if my memory serves me well, still on that. You know, it was named initially Sukul Usul. Then one night, I received a letter to present a paper on the use of commodities in Islamic finance. استخدام السلع في الفقه الإسلامي. A paper was in Arabic anyway. So I said, wow, usul and sila, not bad. Instead of using the word usul, which from accounting got a problem actually, because usul in accounting means something else. Okay, it means something else. So I wake up at the night, I text to the group at the time, why don't we change the word usul to sila? The problem is I cannot write Arabic with ain, S-I-L-A. So it is what? Sila, mean bersila or what? You know, sila, because we don't have the apostrophe, to ain, we don't have. That's why I think we have. So I said, no, sila. So wow, one of the colleague there was a Chinese. He said, no, I cannot pronounce it well. It's difficult for me. My worry, people will say Bursa Suku Selak, which in Malay means something else, which is I said, no, I think it's a good one. Because why? If you want to attract GCC and Middle East market, this word is more understandable to them compared to Usul. That's how the Suku Sila comes to the picture. Bursa Suku Sila. That's how the word originated actually. Bursa Suku Sila. Because of the paper that I have to present overseas for that. So come to that. I think Bursa has moved from, Bursa Suku Silat now has moved from one stage to another, which is now going for commodity. When you start with gold, which is the most difficult one anyway, because the stringent requirement of Sharia to trade in gold, which you don't have if you trade in other commodities. So for us to move to the second stage for the multi-commodity centers or exchange, that will be easier compared to gold. So you have gone a little bit further. Our plan is to start with other commodities. Gold is the last one because the trading of gold have a lot of requirement of Sharia and everything. So we foresee to go through all other commodities before we go to gold for that matter. Now you jump to gold first, and then for you to move further to other commodities is much easier. Now what we have in terms of Islamic is the MCC, Dubai Multi-Commodity Center. We have been certified to be Shariah-compliant. So I'm not sure whether it's going to be along that line or better. I think we have a lot of proposals to make it better than what they have. And the last one in the piece of the proposal is how for market to then create ETF over that particular commodities, which we don't have so far in terms of ETF commodities in Malaysia for them. We have several overseas. I come to that later on ETF, which another good instrument in the market, but in Malaysia we have not seen quite traction. Why? Because people don't understand what ETF is. I stop there. Thank you.
Just to comment, why we suddenly moved to gold, because Tansi give us the management do something with gold, so that's why we come up with the gold dinner.
Tapi kalau boleh include the brokers and banks as well lah. It seems like this model is actually, clients or customers will actually open account direct with Bursa, right? So hopefully there will be some role for the brokers as well. Thank you. So okay, so okay, I will ask, this is the final questions lah, in the interest of time. I'll combine two questions. First is actually what new and innovative Sharia-compliant products that you see that have emerged? If you can also provide some examples. And then another question will be what you see as the challenges and also opportunities in terms of product development, regulatory frameworks, and market acceptance for all these innovative products. So let Ustaz first.
Thanks. Just to add on when Dr. Aznan mentioned about you can innovate a product with any product with tawarruk and wa'ad. Maybe we can add one more wakalah lah. So by having wakalah, you can do everything in the future. So that's another area maybe perhaps we can develop on that part. And on the DMCC, actually I'm personally involved in endorsing the DMCC Sharia approval. So I think the main issue in the MCC last time is about the ta'yin lah. It's always about ta'yin the commodity, to specify the commodity at least in the system. So we did that audit and we endorsed that with Dar Sharia, doctor. So Master Dar Sharia. Then I was in Nur at that point of time. Then it started from there, alhamdulillah. And the first transaction is with Nur Bank. We started with the MCC. So I think the experience that we have, I think in Malaysia with Bursa, we can see a lot of improvement compared to last time. When I was in Dubai, I tried to look into Bursa system. So I can see a lot of improvement compared to the MCC, much more better in terms of identification of the commodity and also the transparency when the customer wanted to buy and sell commodities. Yeah. Just on the question, again, the philosophy of Islamic innovation is always about the innovation, and the money that we have today is from Allah. It's always from Allah, and we never can run away from that. So if you ask about Ibn Sina, Ibn Rushd, the ilham, the innovation that come, it will not come from only from the experiment that they do, but the ilham is from the creator. So that's why in our modern world, that element is most important for me, which is the scholars that we have today. Whether our scholars today is at that level is something that we know, alhamdulillah, they are working day and night to ensure the sanctity of the product. We can see how they slept, like Dr. Aznan, they slept on the sofa, just reading the textual, the classical textual to find the solution for us today. And many, Dr. Prof. Mku, mashallah. So in Bank Negara also, we work, we debate, we study. There's a lot of, hard working there behind every product that being introduced in the market. But the question that we have today, the challenges, go to the challenges that whether we can stick with that. Like Imam Ghazali said in his opus magnum, in his masterpiece, Ihya Ulumuddin, he he put the correlation between Tawheed and trust. There's a very close correlation with trust and Tawheed. Why? Because in investment or in financing, the trust is important. But how to gain this trust, especially in the Islamic realm, is always about how we close to Allah in our market innovation. So that's why I say the ilham will come only to those who are close to Allah. It will not go to those who do wrongdoings, who do ma'asiyah or whatever. So the ilham will come to those who are close to Allah. So that is the asset, the important asset for me, and in the central bank. That's the most important asset for us. To have that ideation came not from the human, but from the wahyu. That's something yang being revelated throughout the years. When you say anything being, you can see all the innovation from Islamic history came from those who are very pious. They do those 2 rakaat salah before they want to invent something, to think something. So this is something that maybe not happening nowadays, except for those are chosen. That's why I think from Bank Negara perspective, to preserve that scholarly and piety through the scholarship and also all the scholars that we have is very important. So that's the challenge that we have today for us. And the second is that to put that trust into our product, we cannot have that ultimate trust and tranquility, because at the end of the day, you want to invest something, you want to be very tranquil, you have a peace of mind that your money is in the right hand. Like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ni'mal mal salih li rajulin salih." The best money, wealth or property is in the hand of those who are very piety, salih, rajulin salih. So if you have that, then you have the world, yeah. And also our companion, the Sahaba companion, like the Sahaba, Salha, did always make dua. Ya Allahumma rzuqni malan wa mujiddan. Allahumma rzuqni malan wa mujiddan. Because la yasluhu al-mal illa bil mujid wa la yasluhu al-mujid illa bil mal. Ya Allah, please give me, reward me with mal, harta, the wealth, and also mujid, those who can do good with this mal, those who can work hard for this mal, because those people, they may not have the money, but we have the money, so they can work hard, they can work clever. But that's why I think that's always this a risky. It's a risky from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for those who have that 2 element in this company or in this investment. So I think this trust is very important from the philosophy perspective and so practicalist perspective. Back to the innovation that we have. For example, I can see in BNPL, I just mentioned about BNPL, and also digital bank. Bank Negara are looking for preparing for these 2 digital bank, which is Ion Corporation and also the CAF investment. So we just approved the Shariah committee just 2-3 days ago. We have the Shariah committee in place, in line. We're interviewing them. We make sure that they have the digital knowledge as well to advise this digital bank. It's not that easy. It's a quite challenging space for digital, but we believe that it can go with the belief that the financial inclusion to ensure that the underserved, the served is in the financial map. Because, for example, like BNPL is one of the product for digital bank that came to us. So one of the issue for the BNPL is the ujrah. I just want to relate with the trust, the revelation itself. How a product that being introduced, if they want to mimic the conventional, they will fall into this trap, where when they charge the ujrah, the fees will always go back to the riba element. If you're not structured properly with that piety and also insaf, right? So how do you want to do that? The best thing, my experience, for example, on this product, the conventional space is already looking at the same mutation like Islamic. Because when Islamic say, okay, if you want to charge an ujrah for a card-based product, it's only on the actual cost, right? If you have any late payment charges, it's only on the actual cost. So maybe we can cap to 1% or whatever. And when the conventional space learn from us that maybe before they are dealing with corporates, but now they are dealing with vulnerable customer that may be illiterate about finance. So we need to follow Islamic. We need to cap that into the actual cost. And this is in discussion, right? Whether we wanted to cap it into cost. So not only for